So we finally have our first female-led superhero movie in the MCU, and a lot of people's been pretty split about it, but the majority of it is showing to be positive. So where do I stand on Captain Marvel? Let's talk about it.
Think you can find others like her?
She might just be the beginning. I'm guessing that's not standard procedure.
No, but I enjoyed it.
Captain Marvel.
What's up, guys? This is me, Joshua, aka the Future Filmmaker 39480 here once again. I'm here to talk about the latest entry in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the 21st installment overall, and the first of 3 different MCU movies to be released this year, Captain Marvel. So Captain Marvel is the first of 3 new MCU films, the other 2 being Avengers Infinity War Part 2 or Avengers Endgame and Spider-Man Far From Home. This is the first female-led superhero film for Marvel, as well as the first female-led superhero film for Marvel after the 2005 Elektra movie, and it is the 21st entry in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This is directed by Ryan Fleck and Boden, with a screenplay written by Geneva, Robertson-Dwaret, Ryan Fleck, and Boden, from a story written by Nicole Perlman, Ryan Fleck, Anna Boden, Meg LaFavre, Geneva, Robertson-Dwaret, and based on the character of the same name by Roy Thomas and Gene Colan. And this film stars Oscar winner Brie Larson as the title character, joined by Samuel Jackson, Clark Gregg, Jude, Gemma, Djimon, Hounsou, Lee Pace, Lashana Lynch, Ben Mendelsohn, and Annette. And without going into spoilers, the plot of this movie is about an extraterrestrial Kree warrior who goes by the name of Captain Marvel, and she finds herself caught in the middle of this intergalactic battle between her people and a set of alien monsters known as the Skrulls. Living on Earth in 1995, she keeps having recurring memories of another life as in the US Air Force pilot named Carol Danvers. With the help of Nick Fury and Agent Coulson, Captain Marvel, aka Carol, tries to uncover her secrets in the past while harnessing her special superpowers to end the war between her people and the evil Skrulls. Now, going into this movie, my expectations were truly high for this movie because it would be the first female MCU-led superhero film, and the moment Brie Larson was casted and the film was announced back in 2016, I didn't know much about the character, so I researched the character and looked at some clips from the Marvel cartoons to know more about her. But I was still excited to see how this version of the character would turn out. And if you know me, I have a lot of love for the other MCU movies that we've gotten, and Phase 3 has been pretty awesome so far, with Captain America Civil War, Doctor Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Spider-Man Homecoming, Thor Ragnarok, which I didn't like as much as people did, but after a couple rewatches, I appreciated it a lot more. Black Panther, Avengers Infinity War Part 1, as I'm calling it, and Ant-Man and the Wasp. So I was pumped to see how this first led female superhero film was going to do, but my biggest worry going in is that the whole controversy surrounding this movie will hurt my enjoyment. Between the Brie Larson controversy and the about diversity and the Rotten Tomatoes crap surrounding it, and anti-SJW non-female character supporters, and the entire fan war between MCU fans and Brie Larson fans and non-Brie Larson fans, and the whole toxic female superhero character SJW people was worrying me. Despite that, I was still pretty damn excited to watch this movie, so I watched it yesterday, ignoring the controversy and hatred that has been going on and the controversy surrounding it, Brie Larson, and I'm here to tell you guys that Captain Marvel is definitely a great female superhero film, and another great addition to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That's right. However, Wonder Woman is still the better movie. But I enjoyed this as much as I did with Wonder Woman. And as a matter of fact, I love this as much as Wonder Woman and the 2019 film I saw back in February, Alita Battle Angel. So let's get into everything I love and hate about this movie, plus my overall thoughts and rating without any spoilers in this review. The first of many positives is going to the interesting take on the character of Captain Marvel herself. Now, there's multiple versions of the character, but the version here that we have a woman And I appreciate the fact that Marvel Studios and the two directors, Ryan Fleck and Annette Boden, did their homework and read their source material. A lot of people say she's an SJW character, but she's not really an SJW character. To me, she's another perfect example of a strong female character who can prove that she's just as good as the men. And she has flaws to her character, unlike the character of Rey in the new Star Wars movies, which I don't hate those movies, but I do admit they have their issues when it comes to that character of Rey. But Captain Marvel as a character is definitely one of the best female characters and one of the most highest female characters of 2019 so far, besides Anya Taylor-Joy, Casey Cook in Glass, Jessica Ross-Tree in Happy Death Day to You, Lucy Hale's character in The Unicorn, which is not a superhero movie by the way, and Rosa Salazar's Alita in Alita Battle Angel. Yeah, I think she was a very interesting character, and I like what they were doing with her. And let me just say right now, and make this official, Brie Larson owns this role as Carol Danvers, aka Captain Marvel, and I thought she was a perfect choice to play the character. Now, originally there were other actresses who were going to play the part, including Olivia Wilde, but Wilde dropped out due to scheduling conflicts and her second pregnancy. That would have been even more cool to see, but Olivia Wilde still has a chance of playing a female superhero in DC or the MCU. But Brie Larson is a great actress, and I've loved her ever since I first saw her in 21 Jump Street, and I was fully supportive of her casting, unlike most people who were saying things like she's too young, she has no ass, she has no tits, she can't pull it off. But she proved half, if almost none of the naysayers wrong, just like Gal Gadot did back in Wonder Woman. And at the time she was hesitant on playing this part, but she accepted it due to her saying that a character like this in this film was everything she wanted for a film like this. As I was saying, now, Larson brings a sense of humor to the character as well as that badass attitude that the character has, and being that female character who's not going to step down or take shit from anyone. And that's due to the impressive screenplay written for her, and every line of dialogue she has is great. From the scenes in space where she wears the green Kree suit, to where she arrives on Earth, all the way up to where she gets the classic red and blue suit, she is having a good time playing this character, and I could definitely see that as the movie was going along. However, when it comes to the controversy, this is where I do have to go in defense mode, as usual. The controversy with her, because of what she said about more equality in film critics and white guys, a lot of people online and a lot of online sources has twisted her words around and make her seem like she's a bad guy, all because she says she doesn't care about what white men think. And she has said in the clip I've seen, in which she repeats 3 times, she doesn't hate white guys, but people still want to twist her words around. However, I'm one of those people who defends what she says. She could have worded it a little better, yes. She did hurt some white guys who were probably interested in this movie, yes. But don't let that controversy pull you off from seeing that movie. So I'm basically defending Brie in this movie as an actress and as a person despite that controversy, because at this point I don't really give a damn about the controversy anymore. I don't give a damn about what people think of Brie Larson. If you people say she can't act, you say Gal Gadot can't act, but yet you people want to sit up here and defend Kristen Stewart. For what? For nothing. Anyways, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Again, Brie kills it as this character, and she proves why she is the right choice for this character. And there's only a few times, only 2 scenes where she did feel a little bland when she arrived on Earth, but she still rocked as the character, especially in the fight scene. She even did research on the character as far as reading comics and trained for 9 months to get into physical shape for the character. And a lot of people online were comparing her to Gal Gadot unfavorably, saying that they both have no ass or tits for one reason or the other. And I was one of the few people who supported the casting decision made for Wonder Woman and made for Captain Marvel. So I didn't doubt her, and plus she won an Oscar and many accolades for her excellent performance in The Room, released back in 2015, and the other films I've seen her in, like Don John and The Spectacular Now and Trainwreck and Scott Pilgrim vs. the World and Kong Skull Island and Free Fire. She is great, and a lot of early reviews said that she was monotone and robotic, but I most respectfully disagree there. Brie Larson plays this character to the best of her ability. She has a lot of expression on her face, which is always a good thing. She was very sexy and attractive in the movie, which, honestly, that is going to be a thing with me and these female actresses in the film. With her wardrobe changes throughout, even going as far as making a girl in an Air Force suit look attractive, which is always nice to see. She definitely brought her A game here, and she proves why she is this character, as well as why she won her Oscar back in 2015, and she definitely stood out in this movie as a star. She's not overshadowed by any of the other characters throughout, and she proves that she has what it takes to lead the Avengers team into fighting off Thanos once and for all in Endgame or Infinity War Part 2, whichever comes out next month. And I'm pretty excited to see that movie, but I don't fully approve of the 3-hour runtime yet. But before I continue, here is a little montage. The other cast members were really great as well. I must say, Samuel L. Jackson returns as Nick Fury, and I have to say that the de-aging for him was really well done, and his scenes with Larson as well as Goose the Cat, which is adorable by the way, were some of the best parts of the movie, and you can tell that he and Larson have fun doing this movie after their last experience with working on Skull Island together. And Samuel L. Jackson is a great actor. You see him in a lot of stuff, and he was amazing in M. Night Shyamalan's finale to his Unbreakable trilogy, Glass, as Elijah Prince. And this movie is no exception. Gregg returns for a good amount of screen time, and with this being his first MCU movie in 7 years due to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., he was great. And the de-aging with him was really well handled, and his scenes were very cool to see. And the whole time he showed up in the movie, I said to myself, it's great seeing this character back in the MCU film. Lashana Lynch did a pretty good job as the friend of Carol, Mario Rambo, and for the scenes she brought her A game, and it was good seeing another black actor and actress in this movie. I'm all for diversity and equality, so it doesn't really bother me. Gemma Chan as Minerva was pretty good, though I do admit she's not in the movie that much, but her makeup and her performance was good. I do wish she was in the movie a little more though, but what can you do? Ben Mendelsohn as the shapeshifter Talos, who is leader of the Krulls, he did a great job. No, good job. He wasn't screaming as much as he did in Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, which made me very happy. Djimon Hounsou as Koroth from Guardians of the Galaxy was pretty good to see back. Annette Bening as Marvel, aka Dr. Wendy Lawson, who is the ruler of the Kree Empire. I thought she was great in the film as well for her screen time she had. Jude Law is a good actor, and I will say he's decent in the film. But I do have a problem with him, which I'll explain in my negatives. But he has a fair amount of screen time, and it's not much because he was doing Fantastic Beasts Crimes of Grindelwald, which is the reason why he doesn't have that much to do here. But he does good in his screen time, and it's cool seeing Lee Pace back as Ronan the Accuser. Although I have to say, it's cool seeing him back, but I do admit he wasn't really needed, although I get why they bring him back. So for the most part, the supporting cast was good as well. It's Goose the Cat. But the show stealer is definitely Larson, which she brings a lot to this character. So I don't get the backlash towards her. I think the backlash is unfair. If you want to backlash somebody, I can give you someone to backlash about. And Goose is a pretty cute cat, and he has a little moments that made me think back of Guardians of the Galaxy. The sense of 90s nostalgia here really does work for me since I was born in the late 90s, and it's good having references to Payphone and Blockbuster, even 9 Inch Nails, which if you see the movie, you do notice that Brie Larson's wearing a 9 Inch Nails shirt, since I do like some of their music, especially Closer. That's an awesome song. The 90s references easily could have been shoehorned in, but they worked very well for the setting that this film takes place in, since it takes place in the 1990s, and you do have some popular 90s songs in the soundtrack, but not a whole lot of them. The way this movie is written is very well executed for the most part, and I know there's a lot of explanatory about the Krulls and the character, but unlike most movies, including that piece of crap Green Lantern movie from 2011, yeah, screw that noise. The explanatory scenes were interesting and they weren't boring. I was interested in the conversations between Fury and Danvers and some of the other characters very well. And they were very well fleshed out. But it's Carol that gets the most fleshed out in my eyes. And I think the directing choices of Ryan Fleck and Anna Boden are very well done. And you can tell that they love the character and they understood the character of Captain Marvel and / Carol. If it was somebody like Michael Bay, this easily would have been Captain Marvel completely over-sexualized. And after 5 Transformers movies, it's a good thing he wasn't the director. But I'm glad it was handled pretty well. The special effects were presented in here as some of the absolute best that the MCU has done, and for the $152 million budget this movie has, the money is definitely, and I mean definitely, on screen. The makeup is very well done, the effects work in space and on the Krulls are really well done, and the locations are absolutely well chosen for Earth and on space. There wasn't a single moment where I said the effects or locations were bad, and the effects on Captain Marvel herself, where she flies in space, or where she's covered in flames, those look really good. They never looked bad, and the visual effects supervisor did a really great job at supervising these effects with ILM, Digital Domain, Lola VFX, to name a few effects companies who did the effects. For the most part, they brought their A game. The costume design, the production design are so well done by both Sanja Hayes, who does the costumes and does a great job of making the costumes look as awesome as they can be, and Andy Nicholson, who makes every detail of the production design look as amazing as it could be. Every costume and every setting feels authentic, and it doesn't feel half-assed or CGI'd completely. It's real locations for the most part, and I definitely appreciate the fact that they used their budget to the absolute best. As always with the Marvel Cinematic Universe films, the action scenes are always a blast to see. You really go and expect me to sit up here and say something bad about the action? The train sequences that were shown in the trailer is still exciting to see when you watch this movie. The action sequences on Earth and in space are some of the most coolest things you'd ever see, and it's cool seeing more MCU films take place in space. So I think it's cool to see that. And when Captain Marvel goes Super Saiyan with her eyes and fists covered in flames, I got excited to see that, because I loved when Thor did it in Thor Ragnarok, and I love when Scarlet Witch did it in Avengers Infinity War Part 1. I can't wait to see Elizabeth Olsen come back in this last Avengers movie, and I'm looking forward to her TV show as well. And seeing it here in Captain Marvel, I still get excited, and I had the biggest reaction seeing all this action play out, while also being 100% attracted to Brie Larson during the entire course of the movie. It's obvious that I am a fan of this actress. Any actress I like, I'm easily going to be attracted to, except for the ones I don't care for. The musical score is done by MCU newcomer and protege of Hans Zimmer and Junkie XL, Pinar Toprak. And what a freaking amazing score it is. It reminds me of Supergirl, the TV show score, the Wonder Woman score, a lot, as well as John Williams' classic Superman score. And that's what I was very happy with, and I'm looking forward to listening to the score again. Toprak does a great job at coming up with great music cues for the entire movie, as well as Captain Marvel's / Carol's theme, and I love the music choices for the 90s setting, which music is always supervised by Dave Jordan with the MCU films, but the score is just amazing. And I love the references to the other MCU films, including Guardians of the Galaxy 1, Iron Man 1, as well as other films such as Superman, the original Star Wars trilogy, and Green Lantern, and done better, and they are very well referenced, and I smiled every time there was a sort of a resemblance to those movies. And there were times where there were a few references to Wonder Woman, which made me happy. because I love those movies except for Green Lantern. They don't distract from the movie as people think it would distract. You're not going to hear me say anything bad about the humor because the humor is always funny to me in the MCU. But sometimes with the humor in the MCU, at the wrong times, the humor can be pretty overbearing if you are not careful. I'm looking at you, Jeff Goldblum's Grandmaster. I'm looking at you. But here is really funny, and the dramatic moments with Carol crying, going into her past, being scared, being free-spirited are amazing as well. And I have to say the use of flashbacks are very well done here, and they gave me a Man of Steel vibe, which I like. But the flashbacks here with her as a child and teenagers and an adult are really impressed me, especially when I first saw them in the trailers. I have nothing bad to say about the visual style. All I'm going to say is with the visual style that is well done. But I need to talk about the character explanation because a lot of people will say she's not well developed. And they already have from most of the reviews I've seen. But I don't give a damn what they think. The explanation for Carol having her powers is well handled and well executed. They don't leave anything out for her explanation. You get the reason why she has her powers, why she's part of the Air Force. And she has flaws to her people. When she's human, she gets her ass kicked, crashes her little race car, crashes her plane. She nearly puts herself in near-death experiences. So her character is very explained well. And I have to praise the short run time, and because that is very nice for me. It's 2 hours and 4 minutes, and there's not a dull moment. So I got through it more than I will with Avengers Endgame with its 3-hour lake. Because that movie is going to take a little too long, for at least for me, to bring back the dead Avengers, except for Heimdall. And I must say, the cameo and tribute to Stan Lee at the beginning of this movie is bittersweet at best. So bring your tissues, people. I love how they handled that. I only have a few issues with the film, and I'm going to get into those. Now, as far as my negatives, my first negative is I have to say the villain is weak. And again, Jude Law does a great job as the commander. But he was weak, and I wish there was more to him, considering the fact that he was working for Ronan, which I wasn't very surprised. I could see it coming as I was watching this movie. But again, I have to give Jude Law at least the benefit of the doubt because he was doing Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald at the time. So I will cut him some slack. The opening is a little too dark for my taste. It's not like you can't see what's going on, where it's dark and desaturated. But I don't mind darkness in the MCU film, especially in Avengers Infinity War. But I didn't need to be reminded of how dark and depressing things go, because that did kill my liking for the ending of Avengers Infinity War Part 1 or Avengers Infinity War a little bit when it got to that scene with Thanos snapping. And I've said that in my horror ranking and in my best of. I don't like that ending because it does depress the crap out of me. And my last negative is there were some characters that got underused, and I wish we had more screen time to them. But hopefully in future sequels to this, if we do get some, because this movie is not probably not doing too well with audiences right now. So, but I personally want to see more of Captain Marvel, and I do wish those characters got more fleshed out and more to do. But that is all for my negatives with this movie. So as for a final verdict, despite a weak villain, an overly dark opening, and some underusage of characters, and I'm not going to mention this until I do a spoiler cast with the whole thing with the Tesseract and the whole thing with Nick Fury's eye, because I am going to be a part of a spoiler cast. Captain Marvel works as another great entry into the Phase 3 of the MCU, and into the MCU so far, and it works as another strong female character-led film, just like Alita Battle Angel and Wonder Woman did for me so far. It has great acting, especially with a great performance by Brie Larson, awesome direction, writing, great character explanatory, awesome effects, and action sequences, and I think this movie is already becoming one of the most underrated / overlooked films of the year. It's one of the most underrated MCU films, right there with Iron Man 3, Age of Ultron, Thor: The Dark World, and Iron Man 2. This movie is worth your time, guys. Don't go into this movie ready to hate it because of the controversy. Give it your fair chance that it truly deserves. I'm definitely planning to add this to my MCU collection, whether Blu-ray or DVD. And if you loved Wonder Woman, you'll love this movie. I prefer Wonder Woman, but because I love this character too, I like this character, and I love this movie. I love both endings to Wonder Woman and Captain Marvel equally. But Captain Marvel was just as fun as Wonder Woman was, and it's one of my favorite superhero origin stories. So if I was to put this anywhere in my MCU ranking, this is definitely going to go in 6th place. And yeah, that's how I feel. This is that good. I don't see the hatred for it. I know a lot of people are just giving this movie crap just to hate Brie Larson. But overall, I'm just gonna say it. I'm going to give Captain Marvel a better than Vampire Academy. Yep, I'm gonna go that far. I'm gonna go that far. What are you gonna do about it? So, thanks for watching this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think of Captain Marvel down below. Do you like it? Do you hate it? I will see you guys in the next video. Be sure to follow all my social media links down below. You guys keep it cool and join the epitasticness. Thanks for getting this channel to 1K subscribers. Let's continue to the next milestone. If you're not a fan of the channel, press the subscribe button. And I will see you guys in the next one. And before I go, I just need to defend Zach Pope, because Zach Pope, he's another cool YouTuber, and he's gotten a crap load of some dislikes for his Captain Marvel review, all because he liked the movie. People, just because you didn't like the movie doesn't mean you control other YouTubers and people who likes it. That gets irritating, and it gets very annoying. You guys need to calm down. And the mid-credit scene, I gotta say it, stay for the end-credit scene and stay for the mid-credit scene, because the mid-credit scene does tie into Endgame. I haven't seen the mid-credit scene, but I've heard about it. And I've read about it, and I can't wait to see Captain Marvel interact with the other Avengers in Avengers Infinity War Part 2 next month. And the dead Avengers are going to be resurrected. And I got one thing to say to you, Thanos. You federally screwed now. No, man, I said it wrong. Yeah, you federally fucked now. So get ready.